Okay, so I'm back. This is the next day. Last night I got everything pretty much disconnected besides 2 bolts in the bell housing, and I left the cross member laying underneath the car to hold the transmission in because I was tired and didn't feel like fighting with the transmission to get it out. And it was a good thing I did, because as you can see, I did get the transmission out just a couple of minutes ago. That's your 204R right there. Big, giant thing. And there's your little 4-speed, minus the bell housing. So, anyway, I just got this thing out. And if you take a close look at this thing, the bell housing is quite wide. And there's also this flare on either side, which helps, I guess, with strength. But doesn't help when you're trying to take it out of a Pontiac with headers. So, unfortunately, I did have to fight. I had to pull this pipe off here, and I just made it out. The ears of that transmission on the bell housing were laying on top of the headers at one point. I almost lost it off the jack because it was so jammed up, and being that the bell housing so big, it was hitting the floor, so I couldn't lift up anymore. So I kept having to drop it, and eventually I slid back so I got to the collectors. And once I got to the collectors, then, you know, it got to be a little bit easier, and I was able to kind of roll it out. Doing it by myself is a little tough, but that's the way I do things. And, you know, anyway, I got a couple of drops on the floor, cleaned it up, no big deal, engine supported. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that flywheel off of there, clean everything up. I'm going to get I got to put a pilot bearing in there, which should be no problem. It's a brand new crankshaft, so I don't have to deal with anybody else's mistakes over the years, you know, trying to chisel and smash old pilot bearings out improperly, and, you know, so I don't have to deal with that. So I got like I said, got the new pilot bearing. Of course, I got a flywheel, brand new clutch assembly, bell housing, throw-out bearing, shifter fork, and then up inside of here, I'm gonna have to go up there, right, around this area here. I gotta weld a tab on this chassis. This way I can put the Z-bar in for the clutch. Being this is an automatic car and always was, nobody ever, you know, they don't put the tab in there to mount the Z-bar if they're not gonna use it. So I gotta do that. That's gonna be, shouldn't be too bad. And then, oh boy, yeah, this is where it's gonna get fun. You see this transmission hasn't been out of this car in many years, but you can also see that there is something missing. A giant hole in the floor for the shifter handle to go through. So I got to figure out, there's another car at the shop, a 67 that they're building there, but it's a 4-speed. I'm going to measure probably off of this line, maybe, and maybe this support right here, and I'm going to try to get myself a, you know, a good idea where I'm gonna have to drill the hole. Cut the hole, because it's important to cut the hole in the right spot. Not so much for the shifter going through it, but for the console on the top. Because if I'm off a little bit, I'll come out underneath, you know, outside of the console, and that is not something that you want to do. So it's gonna have to be, you know, I'm gonna have to think about it and take some measurements and be pretty darned accurate. You know, I still have to go up top, and I gotta pull the old console out, and you know, probably what I'll do is I'll pull the top lid off the console, and that top lid has the opening. The new top lid that I have has the opening for the shifter, for the 4-speed shifter, and that'll also give me a little bit of a reference point as to where I got to cut the hole through the transmission tunnel. So still got a lot to go though. Got to do clutch pedals. You know, because you got to remove the brake pedal completely. That goes away because that brake pedal's too wide. So with the standard shift cars, they always put a skinny brake pedal and a skinny clutch pedal. I got to do, like I said in one of my other videos, I have to get that parking brake set up all inside there. Not too concerned about that. But, you know, I definitely got a long road ahead of me. And now I gotta get this transmission out of my garage because it takes up too much space. And tomorrow, I'm gonna start opening up those boxes there, go through all the parts. There should be all kinds of neat stuff. Shifter boots and, you know, little clips and bolts and doodads. And hopefully I got everything. I have another package, another box coming tomorrow with the flywheel clutch and, ooh, there's probably something else in there, but that I can't remember. And that will, hopefully this weekend, I will get through most of this and I'll have the bulk of it installed. So, until tomorrow, I will, I guess I'll see you then. Bye.